Yo, I'm Bob. Totally blind since birth into Star Wars, talking about Season 3, Episode 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Spoilers ahead, watch the episode before listening to my thoughts. Jumping right in, you were warned. So this one's called The Mines of Mandalore. What a curveball this episode threw me. I was expecting a side quest. Dan's got to go find a memory component for IG-11. He's got to do one thing so he can have a droid to get him to traverse Mandalore safely. But he goes to Tatooine. I love the Boonta Eve celebration going on. According to the audio description track, we've got fireworks going off. I couldn't help thinking of Luke possibly watching the fireworks when he was a kid on Tatooine. I'm sure Owen and Beru let him celebrate Ubuntu. And I couldn't help thinking of Wald when we saw Paley bargaining with that Rodian customer. It probably isn't Wald, but that's where my mind went to Anakin's Rodian buddy from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I would imagine this is a different Rodian, though. I would think Wald would be a bit older. I don't know how old this Rodian looked. I don't know if you can even tell with older Rodians. But I liked the pit droids back. I really like the integration of original trilogy and prequel trilogy droids. I mean, you've got pit droids, you've got R5D4 running around in this scene. And yeah, when Din gets to Tatooine, Paley has to say, look, man, they don't make IG-11 parts anymore, so you're just going to have to go with R5D4 here. And I love this droid. I used to own his action figure in the Power of the Force 2 line. He had a hidden missile launcher, guns that could come up from his legs since he was a droid of the rebellion. I kind of want to see a hidden missile launcher pop out of him at some point. I don't think we're going to get that, but I mean, if we got Bib's staff from the 80s toy line, you never know. I don't think we'll see it though. But yeah, he gets the droid and off they go. And when Nicole Zanzarella narrated the title of the episode, when she goes, Chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore, I was like, John, Dave, we're going there this early in the season. Thank you very much. Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but okay, that's where we're going. And I gotta say, Mandalore is one of my favorite locations from both Legends and canon. I loved reading about it in the Legacy of the Force series. I really enjoyed it in the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, the animated series there. And I really like how bleak and foreboding it looks here in the post Return of the Jedi era as Din and Grogu and R5D4 get there. So when R5 disappears, you've got that really cool scene where Din is having to fight off the Alamites. He gets to wield the dark saber a little bit there. And then you have him finding out that the atmosphere is not poisoned. And when he goes back to the ship and gets Grogu and they all try to get to the mines, I think that's probably one of my favorite scenes of the episode where we get to see that, I don't even know what to call it, Matrushka Mando spider mech or whatever the heck it is. I like the look of this as described by the audio description track. This thing, he's so toyetic, or it is so toyetic. It would make a really cool action figure. It might have to be a vehicle. I don't know how big this thing is. But yeah, he's got that zippity zappity staff. He's got the Mando capture cage that he scoops Din up in. And it is just a really creepy looking mech. I love how the suit opens and then you've got a little cybernetic spider being inside there. And the way that it sounds, it reminds me of Grievous in terms of the filters they used for the voice. I mean, it mostly chittered, but I couldn't help thinking of Grievous when it would utter whatever it was uttering there. And then you've got Grogu. He's got to go off. He's got to avoid the croc bats. I don't know what else to call them. I don't think they have a name. Some kind of reptiloid species with wings. And when they were kind of slinking out of the sewer pipes, I kept thinking of the old, it was either Whack-A-Croc or Whack-A-Gator game from the old Chuck E. Cheese franchise back in the day. he's got to go to Kalevala and enlist the aid of Bo-Katan. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Katee Sackhoff back in the very next episode, but very thrilled to see that character. She's one of my favorites from the Clone Wars, and now, of course, the Mandalorian. And I wasn't really sure what she was going to do when she was talking about, well, I guess we'll have to get rid of him once and for all. I was like, oh, you're not going to fire on the ship, are you? And of course, she goes with Grogu. She's got to go back to Mandalore because Din's been captured, and I like her ship. I think it's the same one we see from the Clone Wars animated series there in season 7. I think it's the Gauntlet, but I'm not sure. Not quite sure. I want to say it is. But yeah, she really makes short work of those Alamites. Good thing too, because apparently they eat people. I like her utilizing her wrist blade and her shield. That's one accessory set I would really enjoy, because the Bo-Katan action figure I have at present, she's just got her blasters. She doesn't have a wrist blade or a shield. Kind of like some upgrades for her action figure. Sorry about talking about figures, but man, is Star Wars ever toyetic. And then, she's got to face off against the spider mech there. It's firing bolts from its staff, and apparently its little head can detach. It reminds me of Mr. Freeze a little bit from the Batman, the animated series, the new Batman Adventures. He kind of could do the same thing. His head would walk around on these little spidery legs because of the advancing McGregor syndrome there. But yeah, it's taken down. The audio description track says that the little head scuttled away on its legs. I'm guessing it got back inside the mech. It's probably dead, but I don't know. I kind of want to see another being like this, or I'm kind of hoping it's still alive. I'm thinking it's probably gone, though. What a cool character this was. And I liked the pump droid or whatever it was, because this thing was actually attempting to drain Din of his blood for some horrific purpose. I guess it needed a glass of freshly squeezed Mando juice. I don't know. But boy, I'd love to see this thing in action figure form. And then, the episode ends with Din not wanting to leave Mandalore until he goes down into the mines. We get a little bit of backstory for Bo-Katan. She'd apparently gone through the same ceremony there, so it was kind of a neat little bit of lore to have learned. And poor Din, he just can't complete his redemption. Whenever Mandalorians try to say the creed in this show, a freaking monster attacks, and that's exactly what happens in this episode. He's pulled down to the bottom of the murky depths there, and wouldn't you know it, there's the mythosaur at the end of the episode. And he's pulled back up to the surface, but the characters are left wondering, what the heck are we going to do? There's a mythosaur here. I would imagine they're probably going to attempt to reason with the beast or tame the beast, because we're led to believe that that's kind of what's coming, but I have no idea what to expect in the next 6 episodes of season 3. I was thinking this redemption arc would last longer. I'm kind of glad it apparently isn't. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I really had a ball with this episode, and I can't wait to see what's next. When you're a Star Wars fan, you kind of think it's going to go one way, but then Favreau and Filoni and crew, they're like, oh, you thought we were doing this? No. We're going to go over here and do this other thing instead. Here's a curveball for you. You ain't seen nothing yet this season. You only think you have. So not sure what to expect next. I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I'm not really sure what the end game is going to be this season, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of wondering if the armorer is going to let her zeal consume her, and I'm wondering if she and Bo-Katan are eventually going to have to throw down. I hope not. I think I trust Bo a little more than I did in the previous episode. I don't know. Maybe she's still eyeing that dark saber. She certainly wields it well enough. So I don't know where they're going now. I think that's the fun of Star Wars. You're just kind of left wondering what's going to happen next. And I just love how fun these past two episodes have been. It really feels like you are sitting in a movie theater and experiencing a summer blockbuster when you're watching The Mandalorian. At least it does for me. So that'll do for this Star Wars episode review. Can't wait to see next week's episode. And I guess I'll hear you guys then. This is the way. May the Force be with you. And be careful when seeing the Mandalorian creator. You might be attacked by some kind of monster. I don't know. That's my advice for the day. Okay, till next time.